it's Gina with Standing Promises, and we are finishing up actually our Valentine card challenge. We've been reading through the book of 1 Corinthians 13, and our idea was to be able to send Valentines to different people. This is kind of the synonymous month for, Valentine's and the month of love, and we thought we wanted to start to spread this love more than just one day, and to send little, whether it be a Facebook message or a little note or whatever you see, fitting for that person. Just send them a little note, just let them know how important they are to you, encourage them, just let them know that, that you're thinking of them, and that that they're, loved by you, basically. So we're reading in 1 Corinthians 13. This is starting in verse 4 through 8. And so in the NIV version it says, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails." So I get the next to last word, which is love perseveres. And so I kind of looked up the definition of this, and perseverance is defined as a continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties. I like the way that was worded, a continued effort. And immediately when I thought of perseverance, I thought of a story in the Bible. It's an Old Testament story, and if you know anything about Old Testament Bible stories, and you know anything about Jacob, there's a story before he gets married to anybody that talks about a perseverance, or where he perseveres in a situation. So to just give you a little insight on this story, Jacob he's getting water at a well, and he runs into this lady. Her name is Rachel, and he waters her flock of sheep. And anyway, lo and behold, he runs in and meets her father, and basically says, I'm in love with your daughter, and whatever. And so his name is Laban, the father. And Laban is like, you can work for me and whatever. What would you want as your wages? And Jacob says, I would love to have your daughter Rachel as my wages. And he says, I'll tell you what, I'll work for you for 7 years for her. So Jacob starts in, he works for 7 years, and at the end of that 7 years, he's like, okay, I've worked for 7 years, I'm ready to marry your daughter. Rachel, he had 2 daughters, Leah and Rachel. Rachel was the youngest of the 2. So Laban's like, okay, let's have a big ceremony, a big feast. At this feast was booze and food, and Jacob's, drunk, and he goes to his matrimonial bed, and only to wake up the next morning with not Rachel, who he had been promised, but her older sister Leah. And so Jacob goes to Laban and is like, what is going on? Why is Leah in my bed? Why did you deceive me? And he says, it's just customary that the older daughter get married first. I can't marry, my older daughter off before I marry my younger one. So Jacob says, okay, well, I will work for you another 7 years for your daughter Rachel's hand. And so Laban agreed. And so lo and behold, Jacob worked for 14 years to get the hand of Rachel. Now, you talk about perseverance, but due to that whole escapade with Leah being involved, it caused a big riffraff later on in the storyline between Jacob and Leah and Rachel, it's just a mess. But that original definition says a continued effort. And Jacob worked for 14 years to get Rachel. And I think when we think of perseverance with love, that's what it takes to truly love someone, is a continued effort. There's going to be times when loving someone is very difficult, whether it be a spouse, whether it be a coworker, whether it be just a family member. There's tons of personalities out there. There's tons of situations and issues that go on, tons of hurt feelings. But I think the ultimate goal that God wants us to focus on is that we continue to put effort into loving others. All these words about love is patient, love is kind, love is not self-seeking. I think all of that, we have to take all of that in stride, and to persevere through our love for each other is, sometimes doing some, trudging through some difficult, ugly times, but knowing that you want to do what's right for that other person. You want to love that person unconditionally. And I know so many marriages that have ended because that continued effort didn't continue. There was whatever kind of issue that came up, and it was just it was too much to continue on, or too much to, you just kind of give up at some point. And I think that's where God wants us to focus completely on that other person and just persevere. I mean, truly just persevere through the difficult times. And I mean, I think truly if we follow all of these steps, as easy as it sounds to do, I know that it's not, but ultimately Christ residing in us, this is what persevering in love looks like, is just moseying through, trudging on, and truly fighting for the type of love that Christ gives us. So I hope I hope you've enjoyed our time. We've got one more tomorrow, which will end our this series on Valentine's Day. I hope you've joined in with us. I hope you are getting some cards out there and encouraging some people. We've got our cards, and we're going to be sending those out. So anyway, I hope you've joined us. I hope you are enjoying our little lessons and our little talks each evening. And I know we've enjoyed getting them together and coming up with thoughts and ideas. And so anyway, I hope you're staying safe, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.